Hey guys, welcome to your third C# tutorial, and in this tutorial we will be talking about data types. This list right here is a list of every single data type, or at least most of the data types available to you to use in C#. Now you may be looking at this list and thinking to yourself, oh crap, I'm never going to be able to remember all these. Well, you don't have to. Most of the data types you're going to be using are these ones right here. These 8 data types, possibly 7 because I'm not sure about object. I'm not really sure how to use it yet, but I don't want to not put it on the list and have it turn out that you're going to use it all the time. So I put it on the list anyways. So you don't really need to know about byte or sbyte or this ushort or short even most of the time. Uint, ulong, any of these. Decimal you probably won't use much. That's usually used when you're working with a financial application for invoices or something. So I'm just going to go ahead and start explaining these, and then I'll show you how to declare them. In int, it stands for integer. If you've ever been in math, which I hope most of you have, then if you haven't, you're in trouble. It's a positive or negative number, but it has to be a whole number. There can be no decimal involved. So that's that. And then a long is basically the same thing as an integer, except since it uses more memory in your computer, it can store a larger number. So what happens is if you have an int and you just keep adding to it, once it gets to its maximum value, it'll start over and go to the negative value, the minimum value, and then keep counting up, and then it'll just go around in circles. And the long does the same thing, but it'll go up to a higher number before going back down. So that's how that works. It's basically an int. It just stores it can store a larger number. Float and double are both real numbers. They have decimals in them. Float is kind of tricky, and I'm going to have to go over that in a minute. Char, 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 whatever, I usually call it a char, or a char actually, and string store letters or words. Char only stores one letter, and then a string is defined on the Microsoft website as a string of characters. So basically a string is just a bunch of characters slapped onto each other. Bool is short for Boolean. It was named after a guy named George Boole who created Boolean algebra, which, if some of you might know about it, it's just a way of telling whether a statement or a hypothesis evaluates to true or false. So Boolean is just true or false. That's the only thing you can put that to. And again, like I said a minute ago, object, I don't know how to use it, and I don't know how to declare it yet. So I'm not going to try to explain it, but I put it on the list just in case you're going to use it, because I don't want to not put it on the list and then screw you guys over. So I'm going to start with int and long. Int x equals like 5. Again, so first thing you do is you put the name, the data type name, the variable name, and you can call this whatever you want. So I can call it Billy if I want to, or built Billy, and equals 5. And that's it. And it doesn't actually equal 5. When you declare a variable, it creates a memory space in your computer to store the number that you want to put inside Billy. So your computer says, hey, let's go make a little box so that we can, and call it Billy, so that we can store some numbers in here. So you got your little box that says Billy on the side, and what this statement here says right here, it says, okay, so Billy, we're going to put the number 5 in you for a little while, and you're going to store the value of the number 5. And so if I were to go down later in my program and say Billy equals 6, then I would pull out the number 5 and then replace it with the value of the number 6. And when you change the value of a data type, no matter what kind it is, you don't use the data type name. You don't put int on it again. You just say Billy equals 6, I mean. And so that's how you change the value. Okay, and long is the same thing. It just stores more values, like I said. So then you have float f equals 5.5 f. You have to have the f on the end, or else it won't compile, and that's actually supposed to say f. And then you have double. Float and double do the same thing, but float requires an f on the end, so and it doesn't do trailing zeros, so that's what I thought maybe the f was for, but I've already tested it out and it really doesn't do it. So and if C# is actually as close to Java as it was created to be, then you're going to be using double way more, if not all the time, rather than using float. But if it's like C or C++, because of the name C#, I mean, it's obviously supposed to be similar, then you'll probably be using float more. But since I haven't really figured out what the usual one for using real numbers is in C#, I'm just going to go ahead and use double because Java is my main program, and I don't think I've ever used a float in Java before, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it from now on, even if I'm not supposed to. If any of you guys actually know any C# or anything and know which one I'm supposed to use, then please tell me and correct me if I'm wrong, or just reassure me if I'm right. The next one is care. That's supposed to be a single quote. Shoot. Okay. And then string s equals string. Just call it string. The way I remember which kind of quote to use for care is single letter, single quote. Easy way to remember it. And then a string can store more than one character. It can store as many as I want. I could come out here and type forever. And it uses double quotes because it can store more than one character, I guess, if that's how you want to remember it. I just remember the care one is single quote, single letter. Excuse me. So let me show you what you can actually do with these. It's like you're showing us how to make all this stuff, Ryan, but we don't know how to use it. Console.writeLine. Okay, so you can type something in here. Like I could come in here and do string, and it would print out string. Or I could come in here and do console.writeLine s. So what it's going to do is take the variable s, and it's going to take what's stored in it and then print it out because you put it inside the writeLine statement. Console.readLine. This is so it won't kick us out again. So let's see. According to me, it's going to print out string, and then it's going to print out string again. But I'm sure most of you can probably figure that out. So let's see if it works. String, string. There you go. And you can do the same thing with an integer. If you do int s equals like 65, and then you want to type out 65, then it'll do the same thing. It'll print out the integer. There you go. You can do it with any kind of number, any kind of data type, I'm sorry. And so I'm going to show you guys some other stuff and I'm going to be talking about data types in the next couple of tutorials, but this is all I want to show you for right now. So see you next time.